My name is Mr. Johnson. This is the house where the probabilities of criminal activity are determined. There are always 3 members of the house. Cassandra is the dealer, and I am the pit boss. Will you be our player?
Word is that Wesley Snipes was once seriously considered for the role of Lucius Lyon on Fox's Empire. With Terrence Howard ultimately cast as the hip-hop patriarch in the Lee Daniels and Danny Strong created blockbuster, which by the way is back for its 2nd season tonight if you didn't know, Snipes was left out of the game in this so-called new golden age of television. Until now. Now, I'm not going to tell you that the Vegas-based The Player, which debuts on September 24th on NBC right after the premiere of Heroes Reborn, is the most original thing you're going to see. It isn't.
Crime, Mr. Kane. We gamble on crime.
Long story short, it's basically David Fincher's 1997 thriller The Game, where the rich have fun with their power and their boredom, pureed with a weekly procedural with some high-tech tricks and access sprinkled over top. But it doesn't matter, because as soon as Snipes shows up well into The Player pilot as the ice-cool, self-titled pit boss Mr. Johnson, the small screen expands beyond the show's genre to something you just can't take your eyes off. And that's where the real fun of The Player kicks in. The John Rogers and John Fox series is of course a case of NBC putting down its cards on the success it's had with The Blacklist. Even more so than the first season of The Blacklist, The Player is fun. And add the action to that, and I gotta tell you, you have a winning hand. The truth is, a lot of that comes down to Snipes, who once menaced a generation as the often name-checked Nino Brown of 1991's New Jack City and cut a lot more than cloth as Blade. Because when he's on screen, he's master of all he surveys from what I've seen. Like The Blacklist belongs to James Spader and his moves, The Player is Wesley Snipes' show. And with well-honed skills that have attracted top-name directors like Spike Lee to work with him repeatedly, he lifts the show well above what could just be the standard primetime procedural pay grade.
The gamblers would like you to finish this bet.
When I'm done, I'm gonna come back here and throw you through that window.
Now, there's a larger conspiracy out there, as there often is on shows like this. But The Player is essentially a lot of a case a week that Strike Back alum Philip Winchester, as a recruited security expert seeking his estranged wife's killers, and Wolf Hall Charity Wakefield solve under Mr. Johnson's tutorage, and the mysterious group of power brokers that he represents, as they also bet on the outcomes. I know it's a little complicated, but yes, there's also lots of action, so feel good about that, plus uploads and downloads that these high-tech shows always had. But The Player's healthy serving of humor and a sense of the absurd is what truly fuels things along when added to Snipes' sheer charisma and presence. And really, at 10 p.m. on a Thursday, even if you're not a gambler, doesn't that sound kind of like a good place to be? I'm Dominic Patten for Deadline Hollywood.